Is Hillick playing hockey with your head? Does just thinking about the skill tree cause a panic attack? Noob Tales and Emails is here for you. Noob Tales, useful tips and help for the new exile just washed ashore.
Hey, thanks.
Emails, feedback from the community.
What else would it be? Learn to play, noob. You suck.
Now with less trolls.
First, just going to go ahead and go over some of the basics that we found we think every new player needs to know. Number one, leagues. Let's go ahead and go over the different kinds of leagues there are. I know a lot of other people. Just hold on, Horshack. Yeah, I know a lot of people are probably listening right now going, oh, really? You're going to go over that? But when I first started, I have not played a game like this. Well, that's not true. I did play D3 a little bit, but I find this game a lot different than that, even though it's the same genre. And I had no idea what the different leagues were. So you want to go ahead and take it away, Grumpy?
Okay, default league. That's like if you die, you just end up going back to town. You don't lose any of your items that you're carrying with you. And if you get back to the instance before it resets after 8 to 15 minutes, everything that you killed is still dead. So it's a great way to learn where things are, even though it is a randomly generated map. There's kind of a feel that you'll get the idea of where you've got to go to next.
Next one is hardcore. Now, you're a little bit more experienced in this than I am. The only thing I know about hardcore, it mirrors the default league. So once you beat the end boss, you go to the next level, which is cruel, the next level, which is ruthless, and so on and so forth. However, in hardcore, you do not want to die, because then all of a sudden that character goes back to default and can never be played on hardcore again.
That's right. And anything that you die within your inventory in hardcore will go with you to default. Now, here's the odd thing. When you're in hardcore, say you have the normal 4-tab stash, that is completely empty when you start your tune on hardcore, because hardcore stash, default league stash are completely separate stashes. So if you dropped off this unique item, like the Facebreaker gloves, that gives you 989% multiplication for kill, only if you have no weapons equipped. If you have that in hardcore, and you left it in the stash of hardcore, and you die and you go back to default, it's still there in hardcore. You won't be able to use it until you get another tune in there.
Which is easy to do. You just create a new tune, go to the stash, kill it. As long as those gloves are in your bags when you die, it's back on default. And what's the next one we have here?
We have Legacy. We've experienced Legacy profoundly recently.
Now I wonder, currently in the beta, Legacy exists whenever they go to reset a level. They will take all your current characters and put them into, let's say, default Legacy or hardcore Legacy. Now, is this going to continue into open beta?
No, when open beta starts, all those leagues will be wiped. There will be no more Legacy leagues or Legacy hardcore. They'll all be wiped. But the thing is, the names that you create during closed beta, you will keep them. So if you have a moniker that everybody that you play with knows, like everybody knows me as Grumpy. It's just everything. It's on my bathrobe. It's been my name since Halo. If you see a tune running around in town with a Grumpy with a Y or a Grumpy with an I, more than likely it's me, because like I've got 30 tunes with some kind of iteration of Grumpy on them. We get wiped during open beta, I'll get to keep those names so I can start new tunes with them.
Well, that's good. At least I don't have to worry about, killing some of my Legacy characters right now to create them into default, so I get to keep them in open beta. The next league that we're looking at is not created yet. We've just briefly touched on it before. For 9.13, it'll be the PvP League, I believe. Now, we know nothing about this yet. At least I'm assuming PvP is going to be its own league, right?
PvP is going to be its own league, but the arenas that they're bringing out and other things that I've read about, you won't lose any of your items or gain experience. We'll just have to inform you when it comes up, or you'll catch it from the forums when they start posting us more details about how the PvP is going to work.
Yeah, because right now we could say anything we want, but it's all speculation. So just stay tuned, and hopefully soon we'll be able to have more information on that.
Well, I can tell you one thing about it that I've played a couple of times, and that's the Cutthroat League. I don't think you got into that at all, did you?
No, I hadn't gotten that yet.
Okay, when you're in town and you go to the exit door like the terraces, which is your first thing after the starting zone, the door is kind of white when you hover over it. That means you're going to enter this instance. If you hold down, is it Control or Alt? I think it's Alt. When you click on that door, you'll have a list, and that list will tell you start a new instance or enter the previous instance and it will reset in so many minutes. Well, in the Cutthroat League that you create a character for, when you click on that, it will have a list of all the people that are in that area running the normal experience for the terraces instance. You can go in that somebody else's game, hunt them down because they'll show up on your map, kill them, and when you kill them, you get all the loot that they drop. Now, they won't drop their gems, and they won't drop portal scrolls, but everything else drops, and you can gather. Just like D2. You kill them, you take their stash.
Sounds like a lot of fun, except I'd find myself being killed more often than killing, I think. From what I hear, that's exactly what PvP is going to be.
Yeah, it's exciting. And from my experience, when you're in a Cutthroat League, phase run is a very good ability. Why? Because you can run them down and kill them.
Or run away from them while they're killing you. Hide behind a rock.
Yeah, in the caves, it was, okay, this guy's got phase run, and I could not get away. Okay, let us move on then.
Okay, the last league, they haven't come out with it yet. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to drop. The Bot League. That's right, folks. You're going to be able to buy your own league. I don't know how this is going to work. I know how I want it to work. Do you have any other information other than, hey, you're going to be able to buy your own league?
Well, what I have read is pretty sparse on details, but the only restriction they have for making your own league is that it makes the game harder. My idea for a league would be like no portal scrolls. You have to use, if you die, you have to use Waypoint. Another one that I've heard that people are actually playing out there, but they're kind of voluntarily following the rules, is called Iron Man, and you have no flask. So you just have to rely on your own health and mana regeneration to stay alive.
That sounds a little deadly. What I want to see, let's say if you buy a league, so you and your friends can play, I want to see it be close to Forge was in Halo 3, except, okay, you go to start up your league, you've got a bunch of checkboxes where you check things off, and no flasks, no skills, and you have another set of checkbox that you could double monster hit point, every monster has energy shield times this. You make it harder, but it's so simple, and then you just hit play, and boom, you're in there.
Oh, that sounds great. Maybe you should write Chris. You'd give us some insider information about these bot leagues, how they're going to be doing. Because they've got to be writing the code at this very moment if they don't already have it done.
That's true. Yeah, I would love to know a little bit more about it, because it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Although I may waste a little bit of money, doing that. Okay, so that's the definition of leagues. Number 2 on our list here, gear colors. Yeah, we'll briefly go over this. There's 4 different colors in here. You have your white, which is...
It's the other game's gray items. It's like most of it is just trash. When you're just starting out, some of that trash is pretty good. But the thing about white items, when you get later in the game, got to look at them, because I have found more good socket combinations and better links on white items, and you can use currency items to make that white item a rare.
And we'll go over that in another episode. But definitely, I've seen on the forums where they say never pick up a white item. Just go for blue or above. To me, when you're first starting this game, you're a brand new player, I say pick up everything, trade it all in, because you're going to need something called a Scroll of Wisdom, which is going to identify any other item that may be locked. So you'll get the next color, a blue item, and it says unidentified. You need to use a scroll of wisdom on that. Take all your white items, sell them, anything that you're not going to use, sell them, keep those scrolls handy. You'll get scroll scraps for them, which 5 of those will turn into a scroll of wisdom, and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, you're going to be wearing white items for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. One of the some person was begging for scrolls of wisdom in town when I first started playing this game, and I had only played it for maybe an hour, and I realized that scrolls of wisdom are like coppers. You start out with 3 of them, and then you just pick up until your bag is full. Once you kill the first boss, you go in town, you sell it all, you get more scrolls of wisdom. Oh, the thing is, when I said currency items, I'm not talking about dollars and cents. There is no gold in this game, Timmy. Gotta grind it for yourself.
There you go, using Timmy again.
Well, you know, Timmy keeps falling in the well, and Lassie comes to you, and if Timmy was playing Poe, he wouldn't be falling in the well.
Let's see, the other colors, you have blue, which is the next one up.
It's a magic item.
Yellow, even better. Now that's going to be, each one of your blues is going to have a certain set of stats on it, which is going to increase your ability to do anything. Yellow is going to have a lot more. You got to keep an eye out for those. Any yellow ones you see, keep them. You're going to need them later.
Well, let me take just a moment to explain something else about yellows that took me probably a week to figure out. They have prefixes and suffixes, so you get the sword of busted skulls, and you identify it, and it's the flaming sword of busted skulls. This means something because there's crafting in this game. Your yellows are your crafting material, and the vendors are the people that do the crafting for you. So when you sell the items, they give you different things, but this is worth a whole show, this crafting.
And we'll definitely do that.
And next is orange. We don't want no oranges, do we?
I love orange. Although I haven't gotten a really good one like you, Mr. Facebreaker. But I like the orange. It's very pretty. These things have special stats on them. I believe they're coming out with new oranges that have been created by the player base who have reached Diamond, which is people who have a lot of money and are donating $1,000 to Grinding Gear Games. If I'm mistaken, please let me know.
No, you are absolutely right. For $1,000, you get to work with the developers to make your own unique items in the game. And some of them are pretty awesome that they've come up with. People are very imaginative.
Like the Facebreaker.
All right, the Facebreaker. Extra gore.
You know, the game's already got some gore into it, but you add that and everything is just busting at the seams.
That's a way to put it. They don't, splat blood. It's more like red oatmeal. It's pretty thick looking stuff.
And you almost feel like you're cheating with those on because you let me borrow them for a bit and I was playing with them. And then you get to Cruel. You can have extra gore all you want, but you're not going to be hitting much harder.
Yeah, I'm tempted to go back into the default league and get my Marauder and stick on his Facebreaker and that Sledgehammer of Doom that I got, and it'd just be awesome.
All right, and the third bit of information we have for you, storage. Now, if you've played any of these games before, you're used to the game of Storage Tetris, which is what you're pretty much going to be playing here. You start off with 4 stash tabs. If you upgrade or donate more to Grinding Gear Games, you can get currency from them, which will allow you to buy more stash tabs. Each stash tab costs you 30 coins. I don't think they've come up with a special name of it or anything like that, but that's how you'll get more. And trust me, you're going to need more, because the only thing you have is your stash, which is shared amongst all your tunes, and your backpack. And that's it. And each one of those does not hold nearly as much as you think.
At least they was kind enough. They know that storage is a premium, so they reduced the size of some of their items. Other games that use the same system, a pair of gloves takes up 4 squares, and a bow and arrow takes up, a bow takes up 6, big hammer takes up 8. Well, they did reduce a lot of those, so they quit taking up 8 slots to just take 6, and we do appreciate any help that we can get there.
Definitely, because every bit of space counts. All right, now number 4, the last thing we really want to go over here in the Noob Tales is something that I find very important. Now, when you first start off the game,